Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manopishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadanti Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurun Sriyutapatakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Sya Shri Rupam Sakrajadam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Satvedam Swavadudam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Pranamami Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanushtute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanjakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhayeva cha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Shashwin, for the wonderful Mangalacharan. So, as we wait for Prabhu to join, we can probably recite the verse, and then as we wait for the speaker to join. Hare Krishna. Shashwin, are you able to read the verse?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Hare Krishna. Antakale tu purusha agate gata sadvasa Chindyada sanga sastrena spriham dehenu yechatam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I can do the word to word as we wait for Prabhu to join. Antakale, at the last stage of life, tu, but, Purusha, a person, agate, has arrived, gata satvasha, without any fear of death, chindyat, must cut off, asanga, non-attachment, shastrena, by weapon of, spriham, all desires, dehe, in the matter of the material tabernacle, anu, pertaining, ye, all that, sha, also, tam, them. Translation: at the last stage of one's life, one should be bold enough not to be afraid of death, but one must cut off all attachment to the material body and everything pertaining to it and all desires thereof. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktan Swam Prabhupada ki jai. Anyone wants to read the purport? Hare Krishna. Okay, I can read. The foolishness of gross materialism is that people think of making a permanent settlement in this world, although it is a settled fact that one has to give up everything here that has been created by valuable human energy. Great statesmen, scientists, philosophers, etc., who are foolish without any information of the spirit soul, think that this life of few years only is all in all and that there is nothing more after death. This poor fund of knowledge, even in the so called learned circles of the world, is killing the vitality of human energy, and the awful result is being keenly felt. And yet, the foolish materialistic men do not care about what is going to happen in the next life. The preliminary instruction in the Bhagavad Gita is that one should know that the identity of the individual living entity is not lost even after the end of this present body, which is nothing but an outward dress only. As one changes an old garment, so the individual being, living being, also changes his body. But the change of the body is called death. And this change of body is called death. Death is therefore a process of changing the body at the end of the duration of the present life. An intelligent person must be prepared for this and must try to have the best type of body in the next life. The best type of body is a spiritual body, which is obtained by those who go back to home, back to the kingdom of God, or enter the realm of Brahman. In the second chapter of this canto, this matter will be broadly discussed. But as far as the change of body is concerned, one must prepare now for the next life. Foolish people attach more importance to the present temporary life, and thus foolish leaders make appeals to the body and the bodily reactions. The bodily reactions extend not only to this body, but also to the family members, wife, children, society, country, and so many other things which end at the end of life. After death, one forgets everything about the present body. Body relations, we have a little experience of this at night when we go to sleep. While sleeping, we forget everything about this body and bodily relations. Although this forgetfulness is a temporary situation for only few hours. Death is nothing but sleeping for a few months in order to develop another term of bodily engagement, which we are awarded by the law of nature according to our aspiration. Therefore, one has only to change the aspiration during the course of this present body. And for this, there is need of training in the current duration of human life. This training can begin at any stage of life or even few seconds before death. But the usual procedure is for one to get the training from very early life, from the stage of brahmacharya, and gradually progress to the grihastha, vanaprastha, and sannyasa orders of life. This the situation which gives such training is called varnashrama dharma, or the system of sanatan dharma, the best procedure for making the human life perfect. One is therefore required to give up the attachment to family or social or political life just at the age of 50 years, if not earlier. And the training in the Vanaprastha ashrama and the sannyas ashramas is given for preparation of next life. Foolish materialists in the garb of leaders of the people in general stick to family affairs without attempting to cut off relations with them, and thus they become victims of nature's law and get gross bodies again. According to their work, such foolish leaders may have some respect from the people at the end of life, but that does not mean that such leaders will be immune to the natural laws under which everyone is tightly bound by the hands and feet. The best thing is, therefore, that everyone voluntarily give up family relations by transferring the attachment from family, society, country, and everything thereof to the devotional service of the Lord. It is stated here in that one should give up all desires of family attachment. One must have a chance for better desires. Otherwise, there is no chance of giving up such morbid desires. Desire is the concomitant factor of the living entity. The living entity is eternal, and therefore he desires his desires, which are natural for a living being, are also eternal. One cannot therefore stop desiring, but the subject matter for desires can be changed. So one must develop the desire for returning home back to God, and automatically the desires for material gain, material honor, material popularity will diminish in proportion to the development of devotional service. A living being is meant for service activities, and his desires are centered around such a service attitude, beginning from the top executive head of the state down to the insignificant pauper in the street. All are rendering some sort of service to others. The perfection of such service attitude is only attained simply by transferring the desire of service from matter to spirit, from Satan to God. Hare Krishna. I think let me just get it.
We can't hear you, Prabhuji.
Sorry. Let me just try to contact Prabhu and then get back here, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Please, my apologies for holding you for long. Um, Actually, I was talking to Prabhuji, and there was some miscommunication to Prabhuji, and he had thought that the class is on Tuesdays, not on Monday. So he wasn't prepared for the class. In the sense, he was still traveling. So he has passed on the apologies on behalf of him to be told on this group. And I told him it's okay because he's traveling on next Tuesday, so he'll be doing the next Monday class. So we'll just pray for him and for his safe travel. And we'll let's just discuss this verse, what we have just read now, and then I think we can have a small discussion about this class. Is that okay, Hare Krishna?
Well, yes, it's okay, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Okay. So let me read the translation once again. Uh, at the last stage of one's life, one should be bold enough not to be afraid of death, but one must cut off all attachment to the material body and everything pertaining to it and all desires thereof. So it's a long purport which I have read just now, and it's Prabhupada has given a lot of information on the last stages of life, and then how one should be prepared to be able to attach himself to the lotus feet of the Lord, and not to get attached in the material senses and then material gross body, which anyway, I mean, whoever it may be, if it's a scientist, if it's a political leader, if it's anybody, any rich man, poor man, African, Indian, American, if it's anybody, he has to quit his body at the end of life. And that end of life, unfortunately, is not known to us and when it's going to come. And when we are going to come, it's going to be so sudden. Not unlike Parikshit Maharaj, who knew he had 7 days, and unlike Katwanga Maharaj, who had the boon from the demigods to know about his death, and then he had 24 minutes. So, unlike that, we don't have any prior information about our death, but still, death is as sure as death. So, death is going to take away everything pertaining to the body, and then, of course, family, children, and property, and education. Everything is lost. Mrityu sarva harashyaham. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Mrityu sarva harashyam. That means, in the form of death, I will take away everything of yours. So this is the status of the human life, unless one utilizes one's life, the energy of life in self-realization, as Prabhupada has rightly written that book called Science of Self-Realization. So, Science of Self-Realization. So once one of my friend asked, I mean, we were discussing about some topic of God and God realization, everything, and then I said a very nice book to read is Self-Realization, and he asked me, Arvind, what is this? What is this self-realization? What do you mean by self-realization? So first of all, I told him that we have to identify ourselves, because our identity is not really known to us, because we think that our identity is this body, and then this body, as Prabhupada has mentioned, is like a dream, in the sense, when we sleep at night, and then when we are deep in sleep, and then when we get dreams, we get different types of dreams, which are connected, which are not connected, and which sometimes Prabhupada also explains. In the dream, we become a king, and then in dream we become a pauper, and then in dream a lion is chasing us, in dream a tiger is chasing us, or a serp, the snake is coming and attacking us. We just, we are suddenly waking up and then coming to realization that, oh, it was just a dream. So dream, in a dream state, it is just like a subtle body state, because our gross body is just sleeping on the bed, and then it is into a sort of trance, in the sense it's not aware of what is happening to the subtle mind body, a sort subtle mind, intelligence, and false ego. So It's basically, that's why in I don't know, in the other parts of the world, in my place, they don't decorate the children at when they're sleeping. That's because if you decorate, it's I don't know if it's true or not, but it's a feeling that if you start decorating the child, differently after he has slept, so then the soul which has gone outside to experience some subtle experiences outside in the dream world, when it comes back to life, it might think that, oh, this is not my body, because I don't recognize this body, because when I left it was something else, and now something else. It might refuse to enter that body. That's why our elders used to tell, no, please do not decorate the child when he's sleeping. So that means there is an activity, subtle activity going on beyond the bodily level. So, like this way, it's basically all this science is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, the science of soul and science of transmigration of the soul from one body to other body, and how the body, what is the size of the soul, how the soul transmigrates into another body, just like a fragrance, like just like a fragrance going from one place to other place. You can't see the fragrance, but the fragrance is going from one place to other place, and then we can see the soul transmigrating into another body. So sorry, my internet had challenges, and then I was signed out of Zoom suddenly. So I hope I'm audible. Hare Krishna.
Yes, yes, Prabhu, you're audible. Sorry about
So, Prabhuji, yes, these are my few thoughts on this verse. Uh, Prasanatma Prabhu, any thoughts you wanted to share on this verse?
Okay, Hare Krishna. First of all the assembled devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. Wonderful to be with you today. Yes, first I see in the translation, Srila Prabhupada tells us that we should be bold enough not to be afraid of death, and we must cut off all attachments to the material body and everything pertaining to it and all desires thereof. So to me it's a very, very deep statement, because it's not easy to not be afraid of death, to be fearless, which is supposed to be one of the qualities of a renounced person or someone in the sannyas order. So it should be. It's not easy. What I'm getting is that it's we should not be fearful, but at the same time, I don't think anyone is ready to go through the painful part of it, especially sometimes it comes in various ways, so it's easy to be shaken a bit. but at the same time, Krishna gives us a way out, and more in our personal lives and in our spiritual lives, as we continue chanting and we continue with our sadhana, with our devotional service. Day by day, like personally, I get to experience. It's a process, but slowly by slowly, start realizing that actually it is possible to completely depend on Krishna, and even in a few moments, sometimes you realize that yes, there is nothing actually. There is no loss. There is nothing to lose for a devotee, because as you keep chanting the holy name, it's the most important thing anyone can do in the world currently, and it's the highest thing. And chanting is one of the 9 devotional processes, as well as any other type of devotional service. So Krishna is basically our way out. So for me, I will say yes, it's difficult to completely be renounced, and not be afraid, rather to completely be fearless. But at the same time, I think and I feel that Krishna has got our backs. So yeah, I think that's what I will say. So day by day, we can just try and keep engaging in our sadhana. The point should not be as much that we should look forward to being fearless at the time of death, but rather I feel that the point should be we should try more and more to engage every moment of our lives. We should just keep trying to be Krishna conscious and to try and be close to the lotus feet of the devotees and Krishna. So yes, that's my thoughts. As we continue for us, for the devotees, or for the people in Krishna consciousness, Krishna has promised that this is the last change of body in that we will experience. So I will say that we are very fortunate by his mercy, by Srila Prabhupada's mercy, and we can just try to imbibe and live our lives in a way that Krishna will be pleased and sadhus will be pleased with us, so that we can get to a better place. So yes, I think those are my thoughts on this verse. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for your thoughts. Yeah, the beauty of this process is any amount of service we do, it's not never lost. You know, it's whatever achievement materially we do in this material world, it's going to come to an end. But whatever we do in spiritual life, anything done, you know, just like Krishna has said in Bhagavad Gita, Neha Birkamana Shosti Pratyavayana Vidyate Swa Alpamapi Asya Dharmasya Trayate Mahatobayat. That means whatever little effort we do, little progress we do, so it's going to protect us from the greatest of fears, and also it's going to be carried forward to our next life. It's not that it's going to end here. We can start from if you have finished 10%, we can start from 11%. If you have done 50%, we can start from 51%. If you have done 80%, you can start from 81%. So it's never going to be lost. Whatever spiritual credits we are accumulating in this life, it's all going to be kept safely by Krishna in the spiritual bank of our spiritual bank account. So this bank account is unlike the bank account what we have in the material world, where once we are finished, we don't have any connection with the bank account. But this spiritual bank account has, is under the control of Krishna, and it is carried forward to our next life. It's a wonderful thing that whatever we do, whatever baby steps we take, those baby steps are identified by Krishna and then recognized by Krishna. So it's a very nice thing. So whatever we can do in our own capacities, but of course in the interest of our own self-interest, like Prabhupada used to say, people do not know their self-interest. So like that, we don't know our self-interest. So our self-interest is to make sure that we put our maximum focus, put our maximum energy in self-realization, and also identifying ourselves, and then identifying who God is, and then making spiritual progress, and then of course going on higher and higher and higher status of spiritual understanding. And of course there are a lot of devotees around us, and then there is a lot of examples, a lot of great spiritual leaders are there for us to take guidance from them, and then we can take a lot of guidance from them, and we can progress the way we are wanting to, because it's all in us. It's of course we need the mercy of devotees, mercy of Krishna, but still it's our endeavor that it will make, if we keep one step towards Krishna, Krishna will take 10 steps. So that's a fact. So Hare Krishna. Anyone else? Shobha Mataji, you want to share something, Mataji?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I just wanted to ask you this. When you said that when we are dreaming, our soul leaves our body. So I was under the impression that only time soul leaves the body is when we die. So when we are actually dreaming, does the soul leave the body?
I'm not very sure on this, but they say that subtle body, like mind, intelligent, false ego, goes out of the body in the dream state, and then it experiences something. Soul, if soul leaves the body, that means it's death, basically. But they say like that, it's a subtle body experiences some things in a dream state. Dream itself is a big subject matter. How the dream happens, whether it's going to happen really, whether it's something has happened in the past which is reoccurring in our mindset, and then it's reoccurring. So it's all I mean, it's very mystical to understand the science of dreams, and then science of how subtle body experiences. Sometimes we experience somebody is pushing us from the cliff, and sometimes we are being stabbed by someone, or sometimes we're in a very happy situation, and sometimes we are very sad. So these are the experiences. Some people say the dreams are nothing but what we have experienced in the past. So my wife Rangavalli has taken some quotation from somewhere. One quotes. So as stated before, the snake is the vital force of the living being. This vital force always remains awake even when the body and the senses become fatigued and do no work. Even in the state of unconsciousness, when we sleep, the snake or the life force remains intact and awake. Consequently, we dream when we sleep. When the living entity gives up this material body, the vital force remains intact and is carried to another material body. This is called transmigration, or change of the body. And when we have come to know this process as death, actually there is no death. The vital force always exists with the soul, and the soul is awakened from so-called sleep. He can see his 11 threads, or the active senses and the mind with their various desires. The vital life force remains. Even during our sleeping hours, we can understand by virtue of our breathing process that the snake lives by eating the air that passes within the body. Air is exhibited in the form of breathing. And as long as breath is there, one can understand that sleeping man is alive. Even when the gross body is asleep, the vital force remains active and alive to protect the body. Thus, the snake is described as living entity, living and eating air to keep the body fit for life. So these are some of the things that this is, I think, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, verse 25. Sorry, chapter 25 and verse 35. There is a purport, and there is explanation. If someone wants to read about more about this, you can, I think we can all read this purport and then get more insights. um, but I think this is a subject which is very complex, very difficult to understand. But soul, of course, as it said there, if soul, once super soul leaves and the soul leaves the body, the life cannot exist. But dream is a little bit difficult subject to understand. That's what that's what I could think of explanation, Mataji.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah, so it's 4:25:25, isn't it?
Yes, 4:25:35.
Oh, 4:25:35. Okay, okay.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
yes,
Prabhuji, like you said, it is like a mystical thing, because when we are actually dreaming, we do feel that we are somewhere else, and we forget completely that we are sleeping in our bed. So, thank you. It is a bit mystical to understand, Prabhu. Thanks. And
true.
yeah, like this verse that we are discussing, that when we are dying, I always, because none of us have experienced really what it's like when we are about to die. So it's very, very difficult. And I also feel that I want to make sure that I remember Krishna when I'm going, leaving this body. But then, is it going to happen at that particular time? So like Prasanatma Prabhu also explained that, because we spend so many years in our body, there is so much material attachment, and like we need to, detach ourselves from these material things, and it is an extremely difficult thing. But only way we can help it is by doing more bhakti, like Shravanam, Kirtanam, read Bhagavatam, associate with devotees. And yeah, I think I need to appoint a guru for myself as well, who could guide me more towards how to do correct devotion. So it is like to leave this material world and leave all our belongings and our bank balance and everything. It is very, very difficult task. So continuation, I do feel that since I have come into Krishna consciousness, I am thinking a lot more in that direction, and it's really helping me to become less and less materialistic. So I do understand, and thank you for association from people like you as well. And it's a wonderful learning process, and Krishna is the best person to surrender to. So this is like my personal experience, that my mindset is changing all the time. So I think devotion is the best step to take. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for insights. Yes, of course. Yeah, we all need a guru, because without a guru, it's difficult. Uh, Krishna will accept us only through a guru. So disciplic succession, Prabhupada has laid a proper disciplic succession, that we can all be authentically connected to a guru parampara. And in the sampradaya where we are coming from, it's a authentic sampradaya coming from the four sampradayas. What we know, these are the four sampradayas which are authenticated by Krishna himself. And when we are connected to such authentic parampara, so our path of spiritual journey is quite guaranteed. So it all depends on us, how much steps we take towards Krishna, and then how much we uh, uh, we indulge ourselves in the spiritual activity. So that much Krishna will also ye tamam prapadyante tam sateva bhajamyaham. That means how much ever one reciprocates, one uh, commits himself to the spiritual activity, so that much Krishna also commits himself to protect the devotee from falling into Maya, falling into material nescience. So this is a very wonderful opportunity for all of us. We are by the mercy of devotees, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we are having this wonderful journey of Srimad Bhagavatam, and then this every day it's a learning for us, and then new things from new speakers we are learning. And there's one more book, Mataji, I will send it across to you. It is by Vishaka Devi Dasi. So our dream life, or 3 stages. I will send it across some details. I'll send it across on the Srimad Bhagavatam group, so we can all, I think, get more insights into what is actually a dream, and then in spiritual perspective, what dream means to all of us, and then whether we should take dream seriously or not. These are all things are given in that write up. So I'll share that, Mataji.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes. Okay. Chandani Pandit Mataji is saying, add me to the Srimad Bhagavatam group. Yes, Mataji. Let me write down your number, please, because I'm not the admin in that group, but I'll just definitely write your number and then ask Mataji to add you. Oh my God. 07327388855. Okay, Mataji, I have noted your number, and then I will ask Kirtika Mataji to add you to the group, so that you can get all the information about the class, ongoing class, and also people keep posting different messages. So thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So we are coming almost to the end of the time allotted. If there are no discussions or any other comments on this verse, so I request Prasanna Prabhu to end the session. Hare Krishna Prabhu, are you in a place? Are you in a position to end?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for organizing this session. Thank you for the devotees also for offering your time, your very valuable time. It's, sometimes it's very heavy to be around even in the evening hours. And also, though we didn't have the association of Dharma Raj Prabhu today, but still always wonderful to even have a little discussion on Bhagavatam and Krishna matters. It's always wonderful and it's always blissful. So thank you so much, dear devotees, and thank you also for giving me association. Always at your mercy and your feet, and praying for all of you that we may be successful in our bhakti one way or the other. So thank you so much. I will request us to unmute and chant the Hare Krishna mantra in glorification of all the devotees assembled, and to say thanks to Arya, Govinda, Prabhu also for organizing the session. So please let's join in and chant. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिद्धुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। इस्कॉन एल्डोरेट की जय। गौर भक्तवृंद की जय।
Thank you,
Okay,
Prabhu.
thank you all, thank you everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare.
See you tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you. Dandavat Pranam. I think tomorrow is Vidura Prabhuji. So you have Vidura Prabhuji's number, or can I forward it to him? Okay, Prabhuji. Okay. So we can stop recording and leave the class, Prabhuji.